Alright all, and welcome back to a new video and the day 4 preview of the Galway Festival alongside a few selections from day 3 of glorious Goodwood here on Thursday, and hopefully it should be a decent day. Looking at yesterday's selections, a major mixed bag. In the end we lost a small bit. We were going to lose a big bit though until the 2 mile 2 handicap chase where Abbey Magic won at 11 to 1 and Zarkariva came third at 20 to 1. So we managed to somehow nail a handicap in the middle of a fair bit of poor performance. So it was happily enough to get that, so it kind of took us back to being only around a point down or a point and a half down for the day, which wasn't too bad at all. And looking through the days so far, that leaves us a little bit down, but not by too much. And July overall has been such a good month that we can afford to be maybe a point or two down for Galway. It's just about trying to wipe our face, I believe anyway, because I think it's a tough summer meeting. Starting off though with them again, and actually I'm going to start with the 3 Goodwood selections today, because just to mix things up a little bit, to hopefully see whether that has a little bit of fortune for these Goodwood picks, which haven't had much so far. A fair few knocking on the door, but not breaking that door down. Starting off with the 3 o'clock, the Gordon Stakes. I'm going to take Wordsworth in this here for Aidan O'Brien at 10 to 3. Ryan Moore takes the ride. Mogul obviously won this race last year, and Wordsworth has danced every dance this year. He was third in the Irish Derby and recently second to Hurricane Lane over in the Grand Prix de Paris. The only reason I suspect he doesn't run a big race here is if that kind of heavy toll is beginning to find him out, and maybe this is one bridge too many. That being said, it's a major step down in class from those races, and I know Third Realm has the scalp of Adair to his name in the Lingfield Derby trial, but Adair's improved out of sight since then, let's be honest, and I don't think they'd come near each other as shown in the Derby where Third Realm was 11 lengths behind him, and I think that could even grow a little bit more if they were meeting each other again. So with that in mind, I think I'm going to take a chance on Wordsworth. He's a tough horse, the softer ground is of no inconvenience, and at 10 to 3 I'm hoping he can do the job. The 3:35, the Nassau Stakes, I'm going to again side with the same connections, and Joan of Arc in this at 15 to 8. I know O'Dara for Jimmy Fanshawe probably brings the best form to the table, but Joan of Arc gets a generous weight concession, and she won the Prix de Diane on soft enough ground last time out, was second in the Irish 1,000 guineas on heavy ground to Empress Josephine, and won a Curragh Maiden at the start of this year on soft heavy ground. So goes in the ground, no bother. I just think with the weight concession she's got a massive chance in this, and also her main market rivals would potentially prefer a bit of a sounder surface. The 5:20 is a big 5 furlong handicap, not one to really have a massive play in, but I'm going to take a chance on one at an each way price in Muker for Phil Macon and Rowan Scott at 18 to 1. I thought this horse was going to be a really good 3-year-old. He was an excellent 2-year-old last year. I remember him getting chinned at Dundalk in the Mercury Stakes, I think it was, the 2-year-old and up race. I was absolutely devastated that day because I had a decent bet on, and this year I've backed him a couple of times and he's been not very good, and I just hope at some stage that maybe to a certain handicap he's going to end up popping up, and I'm going to give him a chance here at 18 to 1. Moving on to the Galway stuff though, which is probably the main reason a lot of people are watching the video, starting off with the 4:35, a 2 mile novices hurdle, and I see there's been a lot of money for the Willie Mullins Far Out in this, but I'm going to take the other Mullins horse in this, and I'm going to play Tax for Max, which potentially is risky. He's a very keen horse, he's not the most straightforward, but he's Paul Townend's pick here, and he's drifted out to 9 to 4, and at 5 to 4 I maybe wouldn't have backed him, but at 9 to 4 I think he's a bet, because I do think he's got the best form overall in the tank here. And I'm hoping he goes and proves that. Far Out won very well by 15 lengths the last time out, but there wasn't much in behind. So for Tax for Max, there's a bit of substance to his form, and hopefully can get the job done. 5:10 sees one of my old flames return, back over fences, finally, and on good ground, finally. It's City Island, the Ballymore Novices Hurdle winner of 2018. That race is a weird race when you look at it now. Some of them have turned into very good horses, some of them we've never seen again. But City Island has been pretty poor since then. But he needs good ground, and I do believe he needs a fence as well. They've been mucking around trying to make him a Stayers hurdle horse. This is going to be the making or breaking of City Island to see whether there's anything left in the tin. He's 5 to 1 with William Hill. I'm going to play it safe and back him each way at that price, but I'm really hoping he can roll back any type of the years here, City Island, and potentially go close. If he's on his best form, he should be going close, because it's not one of the strongest beginners chases you're ever going to see, even though Blueberry was a Coral Cup winner back in the day. The 5:45, the 2 mile 2 furlong Novices Chase. My nap of the day comes in this, and it's Gin on Lime here for Henry de Bromhead. I just think this is a mare going serious places. She's an electric jumper. She's won 3 from 3 this summer, beating a few decent types. She's beaten Star Max 12 lengths and 15 lengths the last 2 times, and Star Max ran a very respectable race in the big handicap chase yesterday over 2-2 when finishing, I think, 5th, only beaten 5 or 6 lengths by Abbey Magic. So there's a bit of form to be had there, and I think overall Gin on Lime, he's just a potentially better jumper than some of these. I know I was massively keen on Druid's Altar as a juvenile hurdler last year, and he gets a weight concession. I backed him at Limerick last time and he did win, but his jumping I think leaves a little bit to be desired, and I don't know whether that's going to be found out in a race of this nature. So Gin on Lime at 9-4, my nap of the day. The 6:15, the Galway Hurdle. I'm going to throw 2 darts at the board here. Starting off with Sole Pretender, who's going to be my main fancy for the race at 12-1 for Norman Lee. Mike O'Connor takes £7 off. Horse came very close 5th in this race 2 years ago off a mark of 147. He's now off a mark of 150, but Mike O'Connor takes £7 off, so he's effectively a little bit better in. And also he comes here after a magnificent win in the Grimes Hurdle where he beat the whole JP McManus battalion, including Durasso, who's been sweeping those sort of contests up for fun all summer. So I think he's in great form. I know he's a top weight, he's second top weight in here, only Saldier above him in the weights. But that being said, the last couple of years we've seen top weights win the race with Araman and Sharjah, so it can be done. And even though it is Norman Lee and potentially not a flashy trainer name, I think that's the reason you're getting 12-1 rather than 8-1. And I think Sole Pretender is worth an each way bet because of it. The other one I'm going to play in this is a bit of a rogue one, but I'm going to take a small chance here on Burning Victory at 20-1. There is, to be fair, a fair amount of concerns about her jumping. She obviously won a Triumph Hurdle very fortuitously. We didn't see her for a year, then she rocked up when finishing 7th at the Punchestown Festival. But she's since gone over to France in a staying flat race and done the job really quite impressively in a handicap there. And perhaps some people would tell me that you should just be waiting for her to run on the flat again, which is potentially so, but she could be well in here in the Galway Hurdle. She does have a lot of ability, and if she can string together an adequate enough round of jumping, could be bang there. And 20-1, I'll be taking that chance. The 6:45, going to take a small chance here on the Barryconnell horse, Hgranca de Thaix. Not one of my strongest fancies of the day, but a 14-1 shot. A 4-year-old that's ran 3 times in maiden hurdles, been okay. Has got a fair handicap mark here for a handicap at Galway, and I'd like to hope that he could maybe outrun those odds of 14-1. 7:15 was a labour of love for me to go through because 3 of my favourite summer horses are running against each other. MC Muldoon, Banbridge and Enniskerry, who, as plenty will know, I've backed plenty of times each. I've ended up siding with 2 of them here because I'm going to back MC Muldoon, even though he's 5-4, which is short. I understand that, but he surely has to get the job done at some stage. And I didn't think I'd be in a position where I'd be able to back another horse against him, really. But Enniskerry is 10-1 with Bet365, which is just a massive price, considering this horse has won his last 2 really nicely. I know he beat Ferdia the last day, and that form took a little bit of a bash yesterday, so maybe Enniskerry's not quite as good as I think he is. But Barry Connell hopefully has a decent horse on his hands here. It'll be interesting to see how he takes this step up in class. But I'll play the 2. Just because I'm a massive fan of them. But Banbridge has been left on the sidelines, even though I've won on him the last couple of times, and he's a horse I like a lot. 7:45, one of my old flames again in this. Hewick runs for Shark Hanlon and Jody McGarvey. Won me a bit of cash last summer. Haven't backed him this summer, and he's been absolutely brilliant. You know, he came second at 28-1, I think, in his returning hurdle race, then won at Beginners, and then came second to Cavalry Master last time out in a Novices Chase. Comes back to hurdles now off a favourable mark of 116, and I think he could be well in here. He's 9-1 best price. I think there's 5 places going for that, or you could take 17-2 at Sky Bet for 6 places. I'll leave that up to your good selves, but I think he's got a cracking each way chance here off a lower hurdle mark, and if he can return to that progressive form, he should be bang there. And the final race of the day, the 8:15, a bumper, and I'm going to be taking Dad's Lad in this. I know he's been a frustrating horse, but he's a me family horse, and therefore you'd be assured that he's been trained to the minute for this race. to try and get the job done here at the Galway Festival. It doesn't look a very strong race. Patrick Mullins gave him a glowing interview the other week when he was chatting to Davy Boland on Racing's Inside Track, that this was one of their stronger bumper horses going in this year, and he should be getting the job done at 9-4. Anyway, that concludes today's video, and I hope you guys did enjoy it. And of course, let me know your selections for day 4 at Galway and day 3 at Goodwood down below, and let me know how you've been getting on throughout the week. It's been a bit hit and miss for myself, a few big prize winners and plenty, should I say, of losers in there as well. But hopefully we'll have a decent enough day today, and you might let me know your strongest bet down below. And of course, until next time, where I'll be covering day 5 and day 4 respectively, hope you stay safe, stay well, land a few bets, and I'll see you guys then.